The Games of the Small States of Europe are a unique event. Inaugurated in 1985 by the National Olympic Committees of 8 nations in Europe with populations of less than 1 million, the Games provide these small states with a chance for Olympic glory. Islands such as Cyprus, Malta and Iceland compete alongside landlocked nations Andorra, Liechtenstein and Luxembourg, with Monaco and San Marino also invited. In 2009, Montenegro was added as the 9th nation and made their debut as the hosts for the 18th edition of the event. Former top 30 tennis player and Wimbledon quarter-finalist Gilles Muller is one athlete who has benefited from competing in the Games.
I think it's important because obviously not many athletes that are here get the chance to play the big Olympics, and so for many of them it's kind of a highlight of their career, especially for the team sports. Tennis has always been a part of it. I remember I played once in 2003, and at that point it was big for me to win the gold medal. I think it's good to experience what it is to be part of a big team. I mean, it's not only about tennis, it's also about all the other sports. You see how the other athletes prepare their competitions, and you get a feel for what it could be at the real Olympics. And I think it's a big motivation for the young kids to be a part of this, and then train harder to be part of the big Olympics.
846 competitors from the 9 small nations travelled to Montenegro to compete for the 113 gold medals on offer across the 10 sports. Igor Vuckovich, Olympic volleyball gold medalist from Sydney 2000, was part of the organising committee for the Games.
For us it was a big challenge because this is the biggest multi-sport event organised in Montenegro. So we try to promote our history, try to promote our beautiful country with the 5 national parks, with the deepest canyon in Europe. So we try to promote Montenegro in the best way for these other 8 countries.
The events were spread across 5 different towns and cities, meaning the athletes were able to see many of Montenegro's stunning sights. Tourist hotspot Budva was the central hub for the Games. The town hosted the bull, shooting and tennis. Being just 200 metres from the Adriatic Sea, it was also the ideal location for the beach volleyball. All were within walking distance of the Slovenska Plaza resort, which acted as the athletes' village.
I think we provide them great conditions here because all of these athletes were in the one place. They have a restaurant with 900 seats. The capacity of Slovenska Plaza is almost 2,200, and our idea from beginning were to promote Olympic spirit, to promote a new friendship and relationship between athletes.
Montenegro is a beautiful country and a great host, and we've been spoiled with the athlete village and the great facilities here, and the competition is unlike any that I've experienced before, and just being in the village and meeting a whole bunch of athletes has been really great, and the Maltese team have all been very welcoming to me for my first competition, so it was great to meet them and great to meet the local people.
40 kilometres south of Budva is the coastal seaport of Bar. Flanked by the Dinaric Alps and the Adriatic Sea, it's hard to find a more scenic backdrop to host the athletics programme. Just across the road from the athletics track in Bar was the basketball arena. North of Budva and a stone's throw away from the idyllic tourist town of Kotor lies Tivat. This picturesque coastal town, situated next to the Bay of Kotor, was host to the table tennis competition. Montenegro's capital city, Podgorica, was the furthest venue from the athletes' village. The organisers provided regular shuttle buses to all of the venues. Podgorica held the swimming event. En route to Podgorica is the location for the final venue, the old royal capital of Cetinje. The historical town played host to the judo competition, where the home nation got the Games off to a brilliant start by winning gold in 3 of the men's events. First, it was Vuckovich to win gold in the half lightweight category, before compatriot Nikola Gardashevich secured victory in front of a jubilant home crowd. We'll bring you more action from the Games of the Small States later in today's show. We're back in Montenegro for the Games of the Small States of Europe, the mini-Olympics for countries in Europe with fewer than 1 million people. It's an event that provides seasoned competitors with a chance of glory and offers a valuable experience for the stars of tomorrow. The poster girl for the 2019 Games was high jumper Maria Vuckovich. The 27-year-old became Montenegro's first world champion in athletics at any level, when winning the World Junior title in 2010. Despite the torrential rain in Bar, Maria cleared 1.86 m to win her 5th consecutive gold medal at the Games. Another star on show was Burt Ms of Luxembourg. The 26-year-old is one of the world's leading shot putters, but found himself behind for most of the competition. Saving the best until last, Bob threw a new Games record of 20.57 metres to secure victory. There was another Games record in the men's 5,000 metres, courtesy of Malta's Jordan Gusman. Born and raised in Australia, Jordan recently switched nationalities to represent his grandfather's country of Malta. Grandpa Frank passed away shortly after the Games due to ill health, but was able to see his grandson race in the colours of Malta. 25-year-old Jordan also picked up silver in the 1500 and gold in the 10,000 metres.
Going really well. Coach obviously set a few goals for me. One of them was basically to come here and run the 3 events over the 3 days, and we don't get too many opportunities to practice the rounds of these competitions, so that was basically just to test how my legs would feel after a 5K and how well I backed up. So I wanted to give the 5K a little bit of a go, and I think I made it honest enough where my legs were pretty tired, and I ended up winning the 5K in 14 flat. And then the 10K obviously came back today and ran 29.49. I think we started a little bit slower and picked up towards the end. So overall, I think it was a good 3 days of racing, and I think my coach will be happy.
Over in the men's high jump, there was a changing of the guard between 35-year-old world and Commonwealth medalist Kyriako Ioannou of Cyprus and his 17-year-old compatriot Kyriako Pampaka. The teenager cleared a personal best of 2.12 m at the first attempt, forcing his more experienced rival to skip to 2.15 metres. And when Ioannou failed at that height, Pampaka completed the upset. These games are perfect for young sports stars to familiarise themselves with the procedures of a multi-sport event. One of the stars in the pool, Julia Hassler, made her international debut at these games as a 14-year-old.
When I was younger, I looked up to the older ones, and now I'm like an older one. So I hope that I can also motivate younger ones to keep doing, and they also can compete in Europeans and World Championships, and also can achieve like bigger things than only like making a medal at small nation games.
Last year, the 26-year-old from Liechtenstein made 3 finals at the European Championships, and here in Podgorica came home with an impressive 6 gold medals.
It's always nice to swim for a country, and I think for small countries like a difference to compete in this event, because it's like a big thing, because we don't have so many chances in like the Olympics. So it's always nice to come back to this competition and try to do the best for my country.
We'll be back later with our final instalment from the Games. Time now for our final instalment from the 2019 Games of the Small States of Europe. Montenegro hosted the 18th edition of this unique event, but it was Luxembourg who finished on top of the medals table, thanks in part to swimmer Raffaele Stacchiotti. Already the most successful competitor in the history of the Games, Raffaele was aiming for 9 gold medals in Podgorica. He was pushed all the way by Kolbein Krafum Kelsen in the 50-metre backstroke, The race was declared a dead heat, with the pair sharing the gold medal. 8 out of 8 so far, bringing Raphael's overall tally to an astonishing 40 gold medals. However, in the final race of the competition, Iceland upset the favourites Luxembourg in the men's 4x100 metre medley relay.
It was the last one, the pretty, it was a tough one, the relay, the medley relay was tough, but the Icelandic guys were just stronger this time, and well, we come back stronger in 2 years and then we get that back.
As a 16-year-old, Raphael was the youngest flag bearer for Luxembourg at the Olympic Games in 2008. And now, aged 27, he recently qualified for his 4th successive Olympics. But it was the small games that were the start for him.
I started out in 2007 with this event, so it definitely helps to see what it is like, the Olympic feeling, even if it's not the real Olympics, but you just kind of have the feeling with medal ceremonies and how you, with the national anthems and all the doping controls and the older ones leading the team, and that's kind of cool. So you learn a lot by it and you grow by it, and that's how I managed to do it the last 12 years.
At the other end of the medals table, Andorra won their first gold of the Games, courtesy of track star Paul Moya. The 22-year-old, who has competed in the Olympics as a teenager, won the 800-metre gold. Andorra will host the next edition of the Games of the Small States in 2021, and they picked up another gold medal in the pool, thanks to 22-year-old Nadia Tudo, who won the 100-metre breaststroke title. Finishing just behind Andorra in 9th place on the medals table was San Marino. They went into the last event of the athletics programme having not won a gold medal in any event at the Games. When favourites Cyprus dropped the baton in the men's 4x100 metre relay, it left Luxembourg in the lead. And when they failed their final changeover, San Marino overhauled Montenegro for a fairy tale victory. It would be their only gold of the Games.
Time for the winner.
Basketball is one of the most popular sports in Montenegro, and here the home team delivered. The hosts went undefeated during the round-robin competition as both the men's and women's teams claimed gold. There was more success for Montenegro on the final day of competition. Vladica Babic saved 6 match points to come back from a set down to win the women's singles title in the tennis. The president of the International Olympic Committee, Thomas Bach, was guest of honour for the closing ceremony. Montenegro were presented with their basketball gold medals, which raised them to 5th place on the medals table. As the flame was being extinguished, it was time to reflect on a successful week for the organising committee.
It was a pity in the first 2 days because we have unusual weather conditions for Montenegro, but at the end we have 3 or 4 days sun in a row, so everybody's smiling, and at the end all of our guests were happy and satisfied with their presentation here in Montenegro.